So for our second installment of the NBA divisional preview, so we're going with the Northwest Division. This is a very competitive division. 1 to 5 is very close. I had a tough time picking 1 from 5. They both could win it. 2 through 4 could win it as well. Really, this division is up for grabs. I could see all of these teams making the playoffs, and I could see none of these teams making the playoffs. So it's really a free for all here. Number 1, I have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Don't know why they're still in the Northwest Division, by the way. Seems a bit odd. Um, they're not in the Northwest. Neither are most of these teams. Seems weird. I know. Should be renamed for something else. But anyways, back to the Thunder. I think they really need to overcome their beginning injury to their point guard, Russell Westbrook. That's going to be a tough challenge for them, but they do have Reggie Jackson backing him up. He's had an awesome preseason. I think he'll have a really good regular season, so I think they'll be okay. They do have Thabo Sefolosha at the shooting guard position. He's a very good defensive player that really adds a lot to this team that people don't know a lot about. Kevin Durant, of course, that's small forward. He's the second best player in the league, so that always helps. Serge Ibaka, I think it's Serge. Serge Ibaka, he's a machine, man. He's getting better on offense. He's awesome at defense. He's a little bit inconsistent, but I think he actually is really talented offensively. I just don't think they use him that way. I think he's more defensive for them, but he is a very good basketball player. So he really completes this team a lot. However, they do have a weak spot, and that is at center. Kendrick Perkins is really not a good center at this point. He can maybe get 15 minutes a game. So that's definitely a weak spot, is down low for them and upping their toughness in the post. Minnesota Timberwolves, I'm picking second, and it's a little bit of a surprise, but I think they'll finally start to come around. Last year they were plagued a little bit by injuries. Obviously they have Ricky Rubio at point guard, and I think he needs to really strengthen up on defense. He gets bullied a little bit while he's playing defense, and I think he really needs to strengthen up on that side of the ball for Timberwolves to be successful. Kevin Martin plays their shooting guard position. He's really efficient scorer, and that's a really helpful thing to have, is somebody who can score at a high percentage. Chase Budinger is currently out with injury, and he's usually their starting small forward. So with him out to injury, that's going to be a little tough to overcome. But they do have Corey Brewer as kind of a stopgap for that, and he's decent, and he'll do okay for the Wolves. Kevin Love obviously plays their power forward position. When he's healthy, he's great, and I think he's healthy and great right now. So he'll have a great year. He'll be a double machine, and he'll do what Kevin Love do. Nikola Pekovic plays the center position. He's a real solid center in this league. Can't get much better as a true center than Nikola Pekovic. Third, I have the Denver Nuggets. They're a very middling team, I think, this year. They're going to sit right in the middle, maybe take the 6th through 8th playoff spot, and they'll be right in the middle of this division. Ty Lawson's their point guard. I think he really needs to take over this offense. I think he needs to lead like he said he was going to last year, and I think he'll be able to do that. He just needs to commit the time and the energy to become that leader. I think he needs to lead also so that Randy Foye can really become a role player, so they don't have to rely on Foye for scoring at all, and they can kind of let him just do a little bit of everything, and that's what Foye does best. Their starting small forward is out with an injury right now, Danilo Gallinari. And that hurts a little bit, but they do have some flexibility with Kenneth Faried and J.J. Hickson back there, and Faried can play the small forward spot, and Hickson can move to power forward, and that can work for the Nuggets. Faried, I think he'll have a breakout year, but he's kind of gotten better. I think he just needs to up his rebounding totals a little bit more, be a little more scrappy like he's known for. J.J. Hickson, of course, I think that was a great ad for them. It gives them a little bit of depth. It gives them bolsters their lineup a little bit, and he's a really good player. He's a little bit underrated because he is really solid. He can be a double double machine for a team, given the chance. JaVale McGee plays their center position. I think he also needs to hop on those boards a little bit more, be a little bit more physical down low. Fourth, I have the Portland Trail Blazers. Their big thing this offseason was to add depth. They had a really good starting five last year, but they had no bench. And they added Darrell Wright this year, and that definitely adds depth to the team. And that's a good guy to have as a sixth man. He's really good at his thing is pump fakes shots. So if he can continue with that, I think he'll give Portland a new dynamic this year, and they could really push for a playoff spot. Damian Lillard really had an awesome last year. I think he needs to improve his passing, pass a little bit more. He doesn't always have to do everything, and I think that's what the young kid has to learn. Wesley Matthews is a pretty solid defender at shooting guard, and then you have Batum at your small forward position, and he's one of the most underrated players in the league. Really, really good, outstanding player, and really the heart of this team. LaMarcus Aldridge plays power forward for him. I think he really needs to get physical this year for Portland to make the playoffs. He's kind of known a little bit as soft, and he really needs to get down low and get dirty. Robin Lopez plays their center position. He can really be a double-double machine, and that will help down low for sure, especially with Aldridge playing a little bit more outside. I do have the Jazz taking last in this division, although I don't think lowly of the Jazz. I just think a little bit more highly of these other teams in this division. But the Jazz, I think, are doing the right thing. They definitely went for the rebuild option, got rid of some players, and letting some players possibly break out. They have a very young team. I love the way they rebuilt this team. They have a lot of players that I could see having huge years and them winning this division and making the playoffs. Although there is room for error there with a lot of young players, and I could see them falling and taking last. And that's kind of where I have them. I have them being an inconsistent team and taking last place. Their starting point guard is debatable. It's between Trey Burke and John Lucas. Looks like John Lucas will win the starting job. He needs to pass a little bit better. He tries to take over the game too much. Trey Burke is their other point guard, and I just don't think the point guard position at this on this team is very strong. I think that it could be a lot better, but it is what they have, and I think it'll do. It'll be okay. Alec Burks is their shooting guard, and that kind of makes them weak at both guard positions. But I think Alec Burks could have a good year. I'm not sold on him yet. Gordon Hayward, he'll be outstanding this year. They're finally just giving him the keys to the car and letting him drive Utah and see where he goes, and I think he'll be excellent. Derek Favors also is another guy that I think will be excellent this year. He's a guy that can get double-doubles all the time, and I think he will this year. He'll average a double-double. Enes Kanter is finally getting the chance to start down low center, and I think he'll also have a breakout year a little bit. I think he'll get close to a double-double, and when you have two double-double guys down low, that's definitely something you want on your team. That is my Northwest Division preview. With the NBA season only 5 days away, I'm going to try to crank these out here this weekend to get all of them up, all 6 of them, before the season starts. But follow me on Twitter, check out my blog, and keep checking back because we'll get these up pretty soon.